Think and Grow Rich. Napoleon Hill. Think and Grow Rich. Anybody can wish for riches, and most people do, but only a few know that a definite plan plus a burning desire for wealth are the only dependable means of accumulating wealth. The brain, broadcasting and receiving station for thought. The 12 step toward riches. More than 40 years ago, the author worked in conjunction with the late Dr. Alexander Graham Bell and Dr. M.L.R. Gate, observed that every human brain is both a broadcasting and receiving station for the vibration of thought. In a fashion similar to that employed by the radio broadcasting principle, every human brain is capable of picking up vibrations of thought which are being released by other brains. In connection with the statement in the preceding paragraph, compare and consider the description of the creative imagination and as outlined in the chapter in imagination. The creative imagination is the receiving set of the brain which receives the thought released by the brain of others. It is the agency of communication between one's conscious or reasoning mind and the four sources from which one may receive thought stimuli. When stimulated or stepped up to a high rate of vibration, the mind becomes more receptive to thought which reaches through outside source. This stepping up process takes place through a positive emotion or a negative emotion. Through the emotion, the vibration of thought may be increased. The emotion of sex stands at the head of the list of human emotions as far as intensity and driving force are concerned. The brain which has been stimulated by the emotion of sex functions at a much more rapid rate than it does when that emotion is quiescent and absent. The result of sex transmutation is the increase of thought to such a pitch that the creative imagination becomes highly receptive to ideas. On the other hand, when the brain is functioning at a rapid rate, it not only attracts thought and idea released by other brains, but gives to one's own thought the feeling which is essential before those thoughts will be picked up and acted upon by one's subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is the sending station of the brain, through which vibrations of thought are broadcast. The creative imagination is the receiving set through which the energy of thought are picked up. Along with the important fact of the subconscious mind and the faculty of the creative imagination, which constitute the sending and receiving set of your mental broadcasting machinery, consider now the principle of auto-suggestion, which is the medium by which you may put into operation your broadcasting station. Through the instructions described in the chapter on auto-suggestion, you may definitely be informed of the method by which desire may be transmuted into its monetary equivalent. Operation of your mental broadcasting station is a comparatively simple procedure. You have but three principles to bear in mind and to apply when you wish to use your broadcasting station, the subconscious mind, creative imagination, and auto-suggestion. The stimuli thought which you put these three principles into action have been described, and the procedure begins with desire. The greatest forces are intangible. Through the ages which have passed, man has depended too much upon his physical sense and has limited his knowledge to physical things, which he could see, touch, weigh, and measure. You are now entering the most marvelous of all ages, an age which will teach us something of the intangible force of the world about you. Perhaps we shall learn as we pass through this age that the other self is more powerful than the physical self we see when we look into a mirror. Sometimes men speak rightly of the intangible, the things which they cannot perceive through any of their five senses, and when we hear them, we could remind us that all of us are controlled by forces which are unseen and intangible. The whole of mankind has not the power to copy it, nor to control the intangible force wrapped up in the rolling waves of the oceans. Man has not the capacity to understand the intangible force of gravity, which keeps his little earth suspended in space, and keeps man from falling from it, much less the power of control and force. Man is entirely subservient to the intangible force which comes with the thunderstorm, and he is just as helpless in the presence of the intangible force of electricity. Nor is this by any means the end of man's ignorance in connection with things unseen and intangible. He does not understand the intangible force, any intelligence, wrapped up in the soil of the earth, the force which provides him every morsel of food he eats, every article of clothing he wears, every dollar he carried in his pocket. The dramatic story of the brain, last but not least, man, with all of his post culture and education, understand little or nothing of the intangible force, the greatest of all the intangible of thought. He knows but little concerning the physical brain and his vast network of intricate machinery thought, which the power of thought is translated into his material equivalent, but is now entertaining the age that shall yield enlightenment on the subject. Men of science have begun to turn their attention to the study of this stupendous thing called the brain, and while they were still in the kindergarten stage of their studies, they have uncovered enough knowledge to know that the central switchboard of the human brain, the number of lines which connect the brain cell one with another, we call the figure 1, followed by 15 million ciphers. The figures are so stupendous. The Dr. C. Judan